Once upon a time in Hollywood, nearly 3 hours long, Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him. So, even Prince Andrew's like, come on, Leo, mate.
That was Ricky Gervais, and everyone laughed. But here's what nobody realized at the time.
If you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world.
He wasn't just roasting celebrities, he was warning us about Leonardo DiCaprio, about Ellen DeGeneres, about a network so deep, even Jim Caviezel called it
Epstein Island isn't the only island.
Ricky Gervais stood on that stage, looked Hollywood's biggest names in the eye, and told them the truth. And now, with the Epstein files unsealed, we finally understand what he was really saying. Because it turns out, Ricky knew everything. For years, Ricky Gervais has been Hollywood's most fearless truth teller. While other comedians play it safe, Ricky walks onto stages filled with A-listers and says the things no one else will say. The Golden Globes, award shows, interviews. He's called out hypocrisy, exposed fake activism, and mocked the elite to their faces. But there were two names he kept circling back to. Two names he warned us about again and again: Leonardo DiCaprio and Ellen DeGeneres. And at the time, people thought he was just being edgy, just being Ricky. But now the Epstein files have been unsealed. And suddenly, those jokes don't seem so funny anymore. Because Ricky wasn't joking, he was warning us. Let's start with Leonardo DiCaprio. Ricky has been relentless about Leo for years. The age jokes, the dating patterns, the hypocrisy, and every time Ricky brought it up, Hollywood laughed it off. But then the Epstein files dropped, and Leo's name was right there. Not because he's accused of a crime, let's be clear about that, but because of someone he was intimately connected to. His ex-girlfriend, Alicia Ridainova. Newly unsealed emails revealed that while Alicia was dating Leonardo DiCaprio, she was allegedly communicating with Jeffrey Epstein, and these weren't casual emails. She called Epstein Love Bunny. She wrote things like, "I'll find a girl for you this time, I promise. I'm so bitter now. I'll do anything. Europe would be better to find little girl." Let that sink in. Little girl. Her words, not speculation, not rumor. Her actual words in an email to Jeffrey Epstein. And this was while she was dating one of the most famous actors in the world. So the question isn't whether Leo is guilty of anything. The question is, what did Leonardo DiCaprio know? And when did he know it? Because here's where Ricky's warnings start to make sense. For decades, Ricky has been pointing out Leo's pattern. The pattern that everyone saw but nobody wanted to talk about. Leonardo DiCaprio has a very specific type. Young, always young. And there's a cutoff. 25 years old?
Once upon a time in Hollywood, nearly 3 hours long, Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him.
When Ricky made that joke, everyone laughed. But look at the facts. In 2022, Leo broke up with Camila Morrone just months after she turned 25. Before her, Barbara Fayali dumped the year she turned 25. Kelly Roebuck dated in 2015, the year she turned 25. Nina Agdal, relationship ended in 2017, the year she turned 25. Gisele Bundchen, together when she was in her early 20s. The graph is real. The pattern is undeniable. And Ricky called it out over and over, but people dismissed it as a punchline. Oh, that's just Leo being Leo. Except now we know that while Leo was dating Alicia, she was allegedly recruiting young women for Jeffrey Epstein. And the emails prove it. One message from 2010 reads, "Do you want to see my friend Swedish girl? Remember I brought the girl to your house in Palm Beach like 4 years ago." That would have been 2006, right around the time she was with Leo. Another email, "I'll find a girl for you this time, I promise." She even offered a 20-year-old woman to Epstein, sending photos and contact details. This wasn't a one-time thing, this was an active recruitment pattern, and it happened while she was in Leo's life. Now, to be absolutely clear, there is no evidence that Leonardo DiCaprio participated in or knew about these activities. Being mentioned in the Epstein files does not equal guilt, but the timing raises questions, the proximity raises questions, and Ricky Gervais saw it. Years before the files dropped, he saw the pattern and he tried to tell us. But Leo isn't the only name Ricky warned us about. There's another, someone with an even bigger platform, someone who built an entire empire on being nice. Ellen DeGeneres.
Welcome to season 18 of the Ellen DeGeneres Show. This summer, there were allegations of a toxic work environment at our show, and then there was an investigation. I learned that things happened here that never should have happened.
That was Ellen's apology in 2020 after 36 former employees came forward alleging a toxic, work environment. But here's what's interesting. Ricky never bought the nice act. While the rest of Hollywood celebrated Ellen as America's sweetheart, Ricky kept his distance. He never appeared on her show, he never endorsed her, and when you look at the timeline now, it's chilling. In October 2024, 3 months before the largest release of Epstein documents, Ellen sold her California mansion, purchased a $15 million estate in rural England, and quietly left the country. Why? Why leave right before the files drop? Why sell everything? Why go silent? According to Jim Caviezel, an actor who was blacklisted for speaking out about Hollywood's dark secrets, Ellen's name has been circulating in insider circles for years. Jim was mocked, dismissed as a conspiracy theorist, but he kept talking. He warned us about what he called the 8-armed octopus, a network so vast, so protected, that cutting off one arm does nothing. The system stays intact.
I would absolutely die. If this were to change the world and get rid of king and pornography and all of the 8 arms of this octopus that has to be destroyed.
And Ellen, she fits the pattern perfectly. A beloved public figure, massive platform, untouchable reputation, until it all came crashing down. First, the toxic workplace allegations. Employees came forward with stories that painted a very different picture of Ellen. She openly expressed her deep disdain for her audience and her own show. I was instructed that I can't look her in the eye and never ever say hi to her first. I once worked at WB. I held the elevator for Ellen. 30 minutes later, I got a call from my boss saying I was fired because I was harassing her. These aren't isolated incidents. 36 employees came forward, 3 executive producers were fired, Warner Media launched a full investigation, and Ellen's response, a scripted apology, and then silence. But former employees didn't buy it.
Liar, hypocrite. That's my reaction. She's known about this for 17 years. She's created this culture.
And then she left the country. No follow-up, no transparency, just a quiet exit to England. And that's exactly what Jim Caviezel said would happen. The powerful protect each other. They control the narrative, and when the walls start closing in, they disappear. Now here's where it all connects. Ricky Gervais hosted the Golden Globes 5 times, and every single time he used that stage to call out the industry's hypocrisy. He didn't just make jokes, he made accusations. And 2 of his favorite targets, Leonardo DiCaprio and the culture of silence that protects people like Ellen.
You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg.
That line was aimed directly at people like Leo, celebrities who lecture about climate change while flying private jets and dating women young enough to be their daughters. But it was also a warning about the entire system, the hypocrisy, the protection, the silence. And Ellen was the queen of that system. For 19 seasons, she had a platform to speak out, to expose wrongdoing, to use her voice for real change. But when the Epstein files started surfacing, when names started being named, she said nothing. Not a single monologue, not a single interview, just silence. And she's not alone. Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers, these are hosts who talk about everything. They covered Harvey Weinstein, they covered R. Kelly, they covered Diddy, but when it comes to the Epstein files and the names inside them, crickets. Jim Caviezel calls this the octopus. You can cut off one arm, remove one producer, one host, one actor, but the system remains. The other arms keep moving, and the people at the top, they stay protected.
This world cabal is involved in all of this stuff, and it has a lot to do with the blood of our children.
For saying that, Jim was blacklisted, he was mocked, he lost roles, his career was nearly destroyed. But he kept talking, and now with the Epstein files unsealed, people are starting to listen because everything he said is being proven true. And Ricky Gervais, he saw it too. He saw the patterns, he saw the hypocrisy, he saw the silence, and he tried to warn us in the only way he could, through comedy. Because in Hollywood, if you say it with a smile, maybe maybe they'll let you get away with it. But Ricky wasn't trying to get away with anything. He was trying to wake us up. Let's go back to Leo for a second, because there's another name connected to him, Diddy. Leonardo DiCaprio and Diddy were friends. They were photographed together multiple times. Leo attended Diddy's 50th birthday party in 2019, and when Diddy was asked in a Vogue interview who was #1 on his party invitation list,
But who's the person that's #1 on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
so now Leo's name is connected to two massive scandals, Epstein and Diddy, both at the same time. And when Diddy's federal case made headlines, someone close to Leo issued a statement. Leonardo DiCaprio has absolutely nothing to do with any of this. He attended a few parties back in the early 2000s, but literally everyone did. A familiar defense. Everyone was there. It was a long time ago. He's moved on. We've heard this before from others. But the question remains, what did he know? When did he know it? And why did he stay silent? Because here's the thing. Leo started as a child actor. He was on Growing Pains. He grew up in Hollywood. He saw how the industry worked from the inside. And as we've learned from Ellen, from Weinstein, from Diddy, people always know. They just choose not to speak. And that's what makes Ricky's warning so chilling. He wasn't guessing. He wasn't making assumptions. He knew. And he tried to tell us. But we were too busy laughing to listen. Now let's talk about the timeline, because the timing of everything is too precise to ignore. In 2020, Ellen's toxic workplace scandal explodes. 36 employees come forward, 3 producers are fired. Ellen apologizes, but the damage is done. Her show ends in 2022. And then in October 2024, right before the Epstein files are set to drop, she sells her mansion and moves to England. Meanwhile, Leo, who had followed his under 25 dating rule religiously for decades, suddenly breaks it. In 2023, he's spotted with a 28-year-old model. For the first time in his public dating history, he's with someone over 25. Coincidence? Or pressure from his team, his family, his lawyers, knowing the Epstein files were coming? According to insiders, it wasn't a coincidence. The rumor is that Leo, under pressure from his family and legal advisors, broke his under 25 rules specifically because of the optics. Because when your ex-girlfriend's emails to Jeffrey Epstein are about to go public, the last thing you need is to be dating another 23-year-old. And all of this, all of it, Ricky Gervais saw coming. He made the jokes, he dropped the hints, he stood on that stage and warned us. And Hollywood's response, they laughed, they clapped, and then they went right back to protecting each other. But the public isn't laughing anymore, because the Epstein files have done what Ricky couldn't. They forced people to ask questions, to connect dots, to see the patterns. Jim Caviezel risked everything to speak out. He was blacklisted, mocked, dismissed, but he kept going. And now, people are finally listening.
And we were humiliated. We were taken through the ringer in the media. This was before Trump came out and said it was, the lying media, the fake news. And they were fake news back when we were doing that. But
Jim made Sound of Freedom, a film about rescuing children from trafficking. And instead of supporting it, Hollywood tried to bury it. Studios blacklisted him. The media attacked him. And the message was clear: do not tell this story. But Jim didn't stop, and neither did Ricky. Two men from completely different corners of the industry saying the same thing. Hollywood protects its own, and the truth is being buried. Now, let's be absolutely clear about something. This is not about false accusations. Leonardo DiCaprio has not been charged with anything. Ellen DeGeneres has not been charged with anything. Being named in the Epstein files does not equal guilt, but it does raise questions, and those questions deserve answers. What did Leo know about his girlfriend's emails to Epstein? When did he know it? Why did he never speak out? And Ellen, why did she leave the country right before the files dropped? Why the silence? Why the sudden exit? These aren't conspiracy theories. These are patterns, and patterns tell stories. Ricky Gervais saw the pattern. He saw Leo's dating history. He saw Ellen's carefully crafted public image. He saw the industry's culture of silence, and he tried to warn us. But we didn't listen. We thought he was just being provocative, just being Ricky. But he wasn't. He was trying to save us from our own blindness. Because here's the truth: Hollywood is not broken. It's functioning exactly as designed, protecting the powerful, silencing silencing the truth tellers, controlling the narrative. And when someone like Ricky or Jim tries to break through, they get mocked, blacklisted, or ignored. Until the evidence becomes undeniable, until the files get unsealed, until the public finally wakes up. And now we're awake. We're asking questions. We're connecting dots. And the industry is terrified because for the first time, the octopus is being exposed. And people are starting to realize just how many arms it has. Who is surprised? He's a creep. I'm not surprised about these celebrities. The whole Hollywood is on that list. The public is waking up. The denial is cracking. And the names that Ricky warned us about, they're all being proven right. So here's where we are. Ricky Gervais stood on that stage, looked the most powerful people in Hollywood in the eye, and told them the truth. He called out Leo. He called out the hypocrisy. He called out the culture of silence, and everyone laughed. But Ricky wasn't joking. He was warning us about Leo's patterns, about Ellen's fake niceness, about a system so corrupt, so protected, that even when the evidence is right in front of us, we refuse to see it. Jim Caviezel said the same thing. He called it the octopus. Cut off one arm and 7 more remain. The system doesn't collapse. It adapts. It protects. It survives. But here's the thing about octopuses. They can't survive in the light. They need darkness. They need secrecy. They need silence. And that's exactly what Ricky and Jim have been fighting against. They've been dragging this into the light. And now, with the Epstein files unsealed, the light is getting brighter. The questions are getting louder. And the people who stayed silent, they're running out of places to hide. Ellen left the country. Leo changed his dating pattern. Diddy is facing federal charges. And the late-night hosts who made careers out of speaking truth to power, they're silent. Because this time, the truth is too close to home. Ricky Gervais warned us. Jim Caviezel warned us. And we didn't listen. But now we don't have a choice. Because the evidence is right in front of us. The patterns are undeniable. And the silence speaks louder than any confession. So the question isn't whether Ricky was right. We know he was. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to keep laughing, keep ignoring, keep pretending we don't see the pattern? Or are we going to demand answers, demand accountability, demand the truth? Because Ricky risked his career to tell us, Jim risked everything to warn us. And if we stay silent now, we're just as complicit as the people protecting the octopus. The files are out. The names are public. The pattern is clear. And Ricky Gervais tried to tell us all along. The only question left is, are we finally ready to listen? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Ricky knew more than he let on? Was he trying to warn us? Or was it just comedy? And what about Leo and Ellen coincidence? Or something darker? Let's talk about it.